Why hello there, this is B.O.X Productions, and welcome back to Path of Exile. In our last episode we entered Act 2, we visited a neighborhood that was having a bad time, and hung out with a whole bunch of dead people. That's party.
Fear gnaws at the entrails of the faithful and the faithless alike. Fear of the unknown, fear of the future. An empire requires leadership that can assuage those fears through example, through wisdom, through strength. An emperor lights the way through the darkened caverns of uncertainty.
And this here is our third trial of Ascendancy, the Spinning Blades trial, aka the deadly coat hangers of discomfort. Now they can hurt quite a bit if they hit you, but it's just a matter of taking your time and knowing the patterns. Or just running for it and hoping for the best. No, whatever.
Shine boldly, so that all may find you when the night falls.
3 down, 3 to go.
Thank you, my ancestors. I will repay your gift.
It's always nice to find gem cutter strongboxes. They can drop gems with quality and sometimes even very rare gems. I can see why they kept this thing around. Looks like it could come in handy.
You are Dream Tender, my new name for you. Badness is everywhere around us. You bring us something good. Now, I promise to share. Let us awaken the spirit, bring even more good into this life.
And now we're at the broken bridge. We'll be back here later on to take care of a quest, but right now we're just here to pick up the waypoint. We're finished with the east side of the map for the time being, so for now we're going to move on to the west side. This is the riverways. For those of you that were looking at the map, you might have noticed there was two paths we can go to. For now we're going to follow the north path.
You restore my faith in humanity, you do.
Well, that certainly looks interesting.
What would you like to know, Exile? That ancient gateway to the northwest It's a peculiar thing, not of the Eternal Empire. It could be Val in origin, a culture I've seen mentioned here and there in some of the most antique of texts. It is the Val who began the use of virtue gems well before our imperial ancestors. Little else is known about them. If only I had my old museum archives, I could have given you a more tempered theory.
Well, now that we checked out that route, let's go see what's over to the west. Well, that's one way to welcome somebody, I guess. Dang, son.
Over here, Exile. This land is crawling with vermin. 8-legged, no-legged, and everything in between. Life here has become twisted and hateful, and it's eating Rayclast alive. Unless we do something about it, unless we clear away this infestation, nature doesn't stand a chance while it has creatures like that at its throat. You want to make an impression around here? I have a certain pack of vermin in mind. A truly twisted and ravenous lot. They range across quite a large territory, so be prepared to cover some ground. Hunt them down wherever they might be and put an end to them. To help you out, I'm going to share a little trick with you. A bit of thaumaturgical tracking that I picked up during my time here in Rayclast. If your quarry is nearby, it'll point you in their direction. The whole thing stinks of corruption, I know. But sometimes you have to behave like the animal you want to kill.
You know, I'm starting to get the feeling that the people of Rayclast don't understand personal space. Anyway, that was our 4th Forsaken Master, Tora. Her missions involve hunting down and killing corrupted monsters, whether they be out in the wild or whether they have a den somewhere that you must find. You can usually tell when you find a corrupted monster because it's a different color, and it usually has different abilities as well.
You hear that? That's the sound of nature taking its first decent breath in far too long. The more vermin we turn into fertilizer, the more nature can breathe and grow in peace. Come see me when you're next in the forest encampment. I can always use a good color.
And there we go. We've opened the path back to Prisoner's Gate. We don't need to go back there, though.
Arteri, my beautiful captain. I wish it were not you, but I cannot bring myself to trust any other with this most vital of tasks. This is the only pass between the inner and outer empire. No further exiles are to enter the inner empire. We have material enough for our work. Ensure that the barricade remains in place, and if any exile should somehow pass through, kill them. I will send for you when my work is complete in San. Until we share our next night together. Piety.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
We, the Court of Reckoning, find you, Doedri Stamatis, guilty of the following transgressions against God. Perversion of God's creation. Promotion of heretical beliefs. Unlawful enslavement of eternal citizens. Torture of the innocent. Murder of the servants of purity. For these most severe crimes, I do sentence Doedri Darktongue to burn at the stake till naught is left but ash. May her life serve as penance for the lives she has taken, and let purity sweep away the dust of her deeds from our firmament. I, Templar Vol, Commander of the Army of Purity.
You know, when I get to reading something, it's like the rest of the world doesn't even exist.
A stranger like no other faced the wall of the Umbra, opened a pass in a sorry land, gave some hope to a sorry band of exiles and death-soaked castaways, a chance at life on a brand new day.
There, thought you deserved one of my finest poems, written to commemorate such a mighty feat. Oh, and this. Been keeping it for a very special occasion. Consider yourself just such an occasion.
Yes? Some have dared hope for a better life beyond Prisoner's Gate. Not me. My place is here, easing the suffering of exile as best I can. God hasn't abandoned us.
Still alive, are we? You found a way to bring down Chevron's barricade. It's at times like these I recall I'm a man of action, not words. Should we encounter each other in the forest, the roast boar's on me, my friend. Stay sharp.
So now we're at the place where we heard that Maliaro's spike might have ended up. Jeez. Hope you like spiders. You know, there's something funny about some dude named Silk having a spider problem. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Okay, now there's a spider. Oh hey, there it is. Neat.
Fare you well.
Killed Mother Eight-Leg? Old Three-Eye? You must have more than a song for that. When I found my spear in the forest, I found these too. Please take one.
Piety would have concurred with Eramir's theory about that northwestern ruin. The Val were a powerful civilization predating even the Eternal Empire, and Piety very much wanted to see what toys the Val might have left for her to play with behind those stone doors. Yet we couldn't budge them, not with that giant of a tree holding them fast in her roots. You now carry a cure to that problem, or rather a useful illness. Use the spike to inject the baleful gem's calibric extantia into the roots. One day soon, Piety will find her way into that ruin. You need to get there first.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to show off the prophecies.
Let me tell your future. Life flows through the blood. Let's slit the blood, and the life will continue in a new form.
Anyway, we have what we need to take care of our tree problem. Let's continue. I bet whatever's in here is very interesting. We'll find out next time. Bye-bye.
What troubles you bring now?
Silk has the mind of a blood monkey. That spear stinks of sickness. And you are a monkey too, if you believe his story. Stuck in a Mother Eight-Leg? More like he dropped it when he ran away from Baby Eight-Leg. I have no use for Helena's kind of peace.
Their skin makes good boots. Their spit makes painful death. In for education, are we? I have spoken with Helena of Dominus and his expedition. It all sounds horribly plausible. Whether we can fully trust what she tells us, time will tell if her torn loyalties are to mend in our favor. Show me this gem from the Chamber of Sins. It has the aspect of a virtue gem, like those you carry already. Yet it's clearly not made to slot into any of your standard equipment. Look at the color. Feel the energy coming off it. Maligaro had little virtue in mind when he made this thing. Could be the nasty piece of work Silk picked up near the Chamber of Sins. Looks too much like Maligaro's dark science to me. If you can talk Silk into giving it to you, do history a favor and sink that spike to the bottom of the river. The baleful gem and Maligaro's spike. I'd wager these two grotesqueries were made for each other. A marriage born in darkness. My advice? Send them to their wedding bed. The riverbed.
No. Helena is healing. I make sure of that. But you want to know if you can trust her. I see her spirit. It was born good and needs work to keep it that way. Much like yours. If Silk's story of the Mother of Eight Legs is true, then you should go get the spear from her. The creatures near the Chamber of Sins have suffered from a twisting of their spirits. They are sick and angry. If this happens to the Eight Legs, we will all suffer from their fever. Viper eats monkey, monkey eats viper. The forest is hurt, confused. It fights with itself. There is no peace for us in this war.
It is a new day. You did it. You captured a blackguard. But her head is too pretty to put in a tree. When she's well, I will ask her for blackguard's secrets. Do not fear. She will do this. Females like to do things for Silk. Exile. The path to the sea is open. You are a legend that lives, Exile.
Tings. According to his notes, the baleful gem was a byproduct of Meligaro's attempts to enhance the already formidable qualities of virtue gems. It was an abject failure, yet Meligaro wasn't one to waste his atrocities. By combining the baleful gem with the venom extracted from one of his arachnid subjects, he brewed something called Black Elixir. He proudly proclaimed it to be the most potent poison in existence, until it was stolen by a man named Victario. It was rather entertaining to read Meligaro's intentions for Victario once he caught the man. Twisted, yet I can't fault the Inquisitor's creativity. Meligaro had an assistant, a man named Raulo. If Meligaro's records spoke truly, Raulo offered himself freely as a test subject. With the spike, Meligaro injected Raulo with a high dose of calibric extantia, thus gifting the poor man with both endless life and horrific deformity. In honor of his sacrifice to Meligaro's work, the Inquisitor gave Raulo a new name, Fidelitis. I thought Dominus was a leader of vision, of purpose, the man who would resurrect the Eternal Empire. In truth, Dominus is only after power, the black thaumaturgical power locked within the virtue gems. He wishes to create a new empire, one in his own image. I drank every night to try and wipe that image from my mind. It's still there. Our expedition made camp in the Western Forest while Piety took a few men through the pass to Axiom Prison. She was after the research notes of one Chevron of Umbra, a witch who devoted herself to the study of transfiguration during the latter days of the Eternal Empire. Piety returned alone and disturbingly happy with her findings. I've learnt that when Piety is happy, misery is soon to follow for everyone else. Go with courage.
At the risk of sounding maudlin, life has held only disappointment for me. But death, well, we seem to understand each other. And so death is the patron of my art. I have learned much from her in the grave and quiet lands. The crafting of wand and dagger, stave and focus. Tools of nightmare that I will strive to perfect with time and experience, and that I'm willing to share with you for a price. Seek me in the wild lands, Exile. The darkness is coming, and we of like mind need to prepare. You have a question? Given time and suitable conditions, the dead walk of their own volition in Reglast. Why? The cataclysm remains, in soil and stone, water and air. Look closely, and you will see its dark hues, its corrupted radiance. Yet the seeing is the difficult part. It's why we look through the gems. Our petty living eyes are blind, yet these eternal stones, they will show us everything. Alrion is obsessed with a dream of life after death. The afterlife isn't a dream. It's just like life. You work with it as best you can. The Karui mollycoddle their dead as a precious mother fusses over her children. Haku is no different.
It is good to see you. Katarina is Kitava's slave, preparing pretty feasts for a cannibal god.
Another day in damnation. The soul is God's concern. Katarina can do what she likes with the discarded vessel.
Good to see you alive and well, Culler. I've been thinking about you and what else we might be able to do for each other. I've learned to make do with what's at hand in Rayclast. Nowadays, if it shoots, then I know how to make it shoot faster, straighter, and harder. If you're open to a little trading, I can find you a thing or two that'll help you get the drop on even the nastiest of corrupted vermin out there. Blood apes. Foragers they once were. Same as the ones in Oriath. Nuts, berries, maybe the odd bug for a touch of meat in the diet. Now meat's all they're interested in. Why are they like this? Corruption. Wherever it came from, now it's in everything and changes everything. Turns plant eater into meat eater, prey into hunter. There's not much of a food chain anymore. What you're eating today will happily eat you tomorrow. Looking fierce today, Exile. Katarina pares back the skin and looks upon the truth in flesh and bone. If anyone has seen how deep the corruption goes, it's Katarina. Elrion seems to think that God is going to save this land. With a little help from us, this land can save its bloody self. Haku's a man who knows how to live, plain and simple.
You wish to ask me something? Tora produces only carcasses, not cadavers. I am an artist. I can't paint with only one color.
Tell him Moana, warrior. A warrior protects life, but it is the huntress who provides it. This land will never prosper without women like Tora.
Another day in damnation. Our causes may look worlds apart, but Tor and I share a common purpose. Rayclass will be saved.